right, good afternoon, people. How are we all? Let me just check our settings in our groups. Hey, Anna, local. Nice weather here in Florida. Good morning, Kayla. Matt Jansen. Happy Jansen, man. Finally see you on here, huh? All right, so I've got a couple of things going on in front of me here, just while we're all hopping in. Hello, She Embarks, new Whole Fit team member. Woo woo! Awesome that you're able to join us live, you guys, this morning. Welcome. Super excited to have you here. We're streaming on Periscope, obviously, and in the Whole Fit Essential Oil community group. And I can see we've got people hopping in there as well, so just want to see who we've got on. Hi, Ashley. Good morning for the babe. Thanks for sharing, you guys, if you want to swipe left or right, depending on your device. Hey, Matt, where are you guys in Florida? We're obviously in Jupiter. So we've been here for a week. We're here for another couple of weeks, and we're actually taking the kids to Disney tomorrow. I think I'm more excited than them, you guys. I'm so pumped for them to experience the happiest place on earth. And okay, so we'll be in Orlando tomorrow. That's super funny. We're staying right down in Disney, and the kids are really excited. I haven't been there since I was 12 or 13, so I'm really excited to see it through their eyes now. So welcome. I'll just do a quick introduction of myself and my kickoff topic for today, and then we will do Q&A, couple rounds right after our topic today. So my name is Ange Peters, and I am the founder of Whole Fit, a holistic health and business coach. I'm a mom of 2 girls. I'm a presidential diamond leader with doTERRA. And in everything I do, I seek to help the person that takes complete ownership of their life and their health, and is interested in living a different life, and you know, taking themselves out of the box, if you will, and starting to look at things with a more critical mind, whether it be in your relationships, in your health predominantly, that's where I focus on, and in business. The business I am most passionate about is growing my doTERRA essential oil team and my leaders. We celebrated some incredible growth ranks last night on our team, and I have been a busy girl these last couple of days. I'm in a launch phase right now for our team, creating something, and that's actually the topic I want to open up with today. But yeah, just with month end and month start and so much goodness, I'm excited for February to kick off. And one of the things, oh, actually, you know what I want to tell you just before I jump into the topic? Last night we took the girls to see The Wizard of Oz. It was playing at a local theater. And it's been so long since I've seen this movie. I'm sure many of you have seen it. And watching it as an adult and sitting there with my girls was really cool, because obviously we see things from a different perspective, and we realize the real message of the movie. And I was way too afraid of the witch when I was a little girl to even understand the message. But my girls and I had a really good talk about it after the movie, and we had a conversation around how we have everything we need already inside of us, right? We, you know, whether it's seeking courage like the lion, or a brain like the scarecrow, or a heart like the Tin Man. They traveled all the way to see The Wizard of Oz, to learn that the Wizard of Oz was nothing more than a man behind a curtain. And they had told themselves that once they get there, and once they talk to the Wizard of Oz, they would have all these things. And so I had this great conversation with them, but I was thinking about how for many of us who own our own business, who are entrepreneurs, who are putting ourselves out there, right, every day, how important it is to understand that my girls are 5 and 7. How important it is for us to understand that there isn't a person or something that's going to give us something we don't already have. It's actually, you know, certain people and certain situations and experiences we have help us realize what we have, but it's always inside, right? We just learn at a very young age that the world wants to limit us. So I don't know, I might want to go back and watch the movie. It was we actually saw another movie this week, The Purpose of Dogs. It was so cute. So I just find that we've been having these really great conversations through these beautiful movies, especially during a time in our world where there's a lot of upset and concern, right? It's so important for us to have these conversations with our kids about what is truth and their truth, and to come more from a place of love versus fear. So I wanted to start off by sharing that. Now, I posted on Instagram yesterday that I thought we would open up with a topic today around my personal flow chart, if you will, when I am in creation mode, okay? When I'm getting ready to create something for my team. And I will say this, being creative in my business and in my life completely fills me up. It is something that I will never give out to somebody else. Will never hire somebody else to do any of my creative process, because it's something that I particularly love about being an entrepreneur. Now, I want to take you through a quick flow of, what I personally think about when I have an idea. How many of you have read the book Big Magic? And the reason I ask is because there's the message in this book. I mean, it has a lot of beautiful messages, but the core of it, right, is around how these great ideas, some of you are reading it right now, that's so cool. These great ideas will visit us from time to time. And when there's an idea that visits you, that continues to appear in your awareness, you think about it when you're in the shower, you think about it after a workout, when you're going for a walk, when you're in stillness, this idea will visit you. No problem, Amy. This idea will visit you because you are one of the people that need to bring this idea into fruition for others, okay? You're not the only person that can, though, okay? And this is something important to understand. If you are in business for yourself and in service to others, your only income producing activity is to solve problems for people. Jerry, the book is called Big Magic. So if you are, I'll say that again, if you are in business, if you are an entrepreneur, your only job as somebody in service to others is to solve problems for people, to be a solutions provider, okay? Now, when you have these ideas hit you, right? When you have this, maybe there's a webinar you want to lead, or a new class, or an ebook, or a book you want to write, or something you want to talk about or create. When these ideas visit you, usually it's because you've identified that there is a need, right? There's a need for a solution within this topic. And Big Magic, the book, suggests that when this idea visits you, you are one of the qualified people to bring this solution to others. Now, sometimes, and I know many of you can relate to this, you'll have this great idea, but you will convince yourself you're not the person to bring it. And that's where sometimes the limiting beliefs, right? What I opened up the broadcast talking about, sometimes those limiting beliefs will take us out and will cause us to not honor the idea that's visited us and know that we are one of the people to bring it, right? So you need to have a belief that when these ideas visit you, you are one of the ones that are here to create a solution. Now, then becomes the question, am I qualified to produce this solution for other people? So can I solve this problem? And I think that the best way to know if you are qualified to create something that solves a problem for other people is, have you personally walked this out already? This is really important. Leadership really is about life. Leadership is about how we lead ourselves, what we have personally learned and experienced, so that then we can teach others. If you think about it in any business, really, if you are a leader versus a manager talks to people, talks down to people. Anybody can be a manager. Not everybody can be a leader. So leaders are ones who have chosen to walk out what they are going to lead others through. Many of you in doTERRA know this, right? You know that it would be kind of impossible for you to attract a diamond type of leader to your team if you're not operating like a diamond today. Doesn't mean you have to be diamond, but it means that, hold on, somebody said it's choppy. Let me just turn off my Wi-Fi on this one device. It means that you need to be carrying yourself like a diamond leader would now, okay? So that you can attract that leader in. It's not about you having gone down that road already, but you're somebody who operates out of that space, right? Now, if you are somebody who is a diamond leader in doTERRA, you are more likely to attract diamond leaders to your team, the future diamonds, because people will know that you're going to be able to duplicate the success that they're looking for in their business. But coming back to the point of, can I solve this problem for people? You want to know that you have lived it, you've walked it out. The second thing is, you want to get messy with the idea, okay? So what I personally do is when I have this great idea, visit me, I get messy with it. I research it for a couple months. I become very educated in what I'm about to produce and create for other people. Lots of Post-it notes. How many of you saw my Instagram? I've got a few in front of me here. I live in neon, okay? So I will often, when I'm in a creative mode, I will start to I'll have notebooks, like the same notebook with me everywhere I go. I'll have Post-it notes with a lot of ideas on them. I'll have a big whiteboard going. I kind of have this like headquarters for the idea that's being birthed. So I'm mapping it out. How many of you do this? I am never without a notebook. Good morning, Rochelle. So I get really messy with the idea as I'm educating myself. And I often do this for a couple of months before I even talk about my idea with anybody, right? Because I need to live with this idea. And that leads me to my next point. I marinate in it. I start to practice what I'm researching and educating and live it. And again, this is all before I ever mention it to anybody. I'm living with it. It's marinating. I also love to keep Evernote. Evernote's my favorite digital notebook system. So I have Evernotes going on every idea that's ever visited me. Now there's probably around 30 ideas I've had in the last 8 years running my own business that I have never acted on, never launched. Not because I didn't believe that I could do it, but as I started to get messy with it, I realized it actually didn't light me up. I actually wasn't the genius that was meant to bring this idea forth. I had a great call with one of the girls. She's actually watching right now, but I don't want to mention who it is. You're all going to know who it is shortly, but she had a great idea around aromatherapy with a certain niche market. It's brilliant. And as I talked it out with her yesterday on a mentor call, I was saying, the interesting thing is this topic does not excite me one bit, but there are so many people that this would help. And this is her genius. She has the right connections to crack open into this niche market. It solves a huge problem that this niche market has in seeking natural tools. So she's going to kill it in her business because she's going to go hard on this idea and do it well. And I've actually thought of the idea before, but I knew I wasn't the one to bring it, and I just let that go, okay? You have to know what's for you and what's not. And often an idea will excite you big time. When you are silent, the idea will keep coming to you. You'll get more excited, and it'll feel light and inspiring versus heavy. You'll find that when you're saying things like, oh, I really should do that. Should is a disgusting word. I kicked it out of my vocabulary last year because I found myself in certain things within my business that were starting to feel heavy. I found myself using that word at those times. I would say, I really should be doing things. Think about how that word feels in your body. I really should. It's a way of saying what I'm doing is not enough. And guess what? A lot of people, it's never enough what they do in their business. And I can tell you this, coming from a person, I live a completely free life. Financially, my children's children will be taken care of. I completely run my schedule and my time. What I do is what I decide to do, no one else. However, I still, at times, was struggling with this. I really should be doing this. I really should be doing that. Says who? That doesn't go away until we fix our internal dialogue. And the should word is a way of us knowing that that is not meant for us. It's meant for someone else to carry out and do. So that's a good way to know if it's in your in your path to create? Does it feel light and inspiring or heavy and shouldy? If it feels shouldy, then you shouldn't do it, okay? So after you have marinated with an idea, you've made your notes, you've researched, you've kind of like dated this idea for a couple of months, you know you're ready to go, then comes the fun part. And for me, what I find is when I have a whole bunch of notes and I've been thinking about an idea for a while, I tend to get stuck in overwhelm. I feel like, okay, I've got all these Post-its, right? Like, where do I start? And the easiest thing that I do when I am ready to launch is I start on the branding. I look at all of the ideas. I look at the story of what I'm trying to tell, what I'm trying to solve, and I ask, what do I want people to feel when they see this material, this content, when they join this community group or whatever I'm starting? What do I want them to feel? And then I think about images and text and colors that support that feeling, okay? So for me, my whole thing is I'm very intelligent in business. I'm a problem solver. I'm very successful. I have a good balance of masculine and feminine. So with a lot of my branding, it's very playful, but very bold. It invites people in, but they don't know what's coming. They don't know that their whole life's about to change, right? Like, that's my whole thing. And so when I work on branding, I'm often using like solid block fonts with neon pop, things that kind of have that playfulness to them, but people know they're going to get incredible value and really be led with what they're joining. So, you know, after I usually will take a couple of notepads and I just start scribbling. I just start writing out all the fonts and the images, and I look at it and I actually will leave it for a day and come back and look at it again. And sometimes I'll ask other people for their opinion, but I don't often like to do that because, again, we always know when it's our idea. When you start asking too many people, what do you think of this idea? Or what would you call this program? Or what do you think of this font? You're going to live in overwhelm for too long. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't put it out there to too many people to weigh in, because sometimes you just need to step away from it, come back and see how it looks and feels. Once I have settled on the branding, the font, the color, what this program or book or whatever is going to look like, then comes the good stuff. Now you create the framework or the baseline for your new project. So you're so welcome. I hope you're finding value in this. So what I often do when I have a great idea is I love Facebook for creating community. How many of you guys use Facebook in your business to create community connection? It's such a powerful engine. Facebook can be the biggest distraction in our life, but it can also be the most incredible way to grow your business and connect people around an idea. So I leverage community groups on Facebook big time, mostly because anybody can do it. And I want to teach today what I do, because what I do now is very duplicatable. You don't have to spend a ton of money anymore. Back in the day when I launched WholeFit, I did all the things. I spent the thousands of dollars on webinar platforms and ebook creators and all this stuff. And honestly, you guys, you can do everything for free now, which is amazing, which means it's an equalizer. You all can bring your great idea into fruition. So the first thing is I create a Facebook group, a private group where the hub is going to happen. Everything that this new idea needs to support it is going to be in that group, okay? So, hey, Periscopers, the ones that are just polluting the wall with comments, nobody's paying attention to you, so just exit the building. So the Facebook community group is going to have a pinned post at the top with, usually I create an ebook. I'll tell you how I do that in a second. And I usually will have a recording at the top of that group. And I usually make it a closed group, and me and my assistant, we often will just, check people. When I'm creating something for my wellness team, they have to be enrolled in our oil community, for example. Or if it's a paid program like my Ready, Set, Glow Detox, we check against registrations through my payment site, okay? So there'll be like a welcome post at the top, a pinned post letting them know what the group stands for and the resources that are there for them. The second thing is I mentioned the ebook. Do you guys know how easy it is to make an ebook? It is so super duper simple. So my preferred way to do this is I will open up Google Slides, okay? which is like making a presentation. I know there's a lot of other tools, but again, I'm just gonna tell you what I do because it's so simple. I go to Google Slides, and each slide of the presentation represents a page of your ebook, okay? So you wanna make, again, consistency between the pages. So you might have a footer on every one of those slides, consistent fonts and a color scheme, right? I didn't always do this, but now it's actually the thing I notice most when I see other people creating things. I see myself in their creations, because years ago I would have like 20 different fonts within an ebook and the colors, and it wasn't cohesive, and now I'm obsessed with that. So that's something to watch. You want to make sure everything kind of flows and comes together. Thanks, Mom to Jade. I appreciate you taking notes and posting there on the Periscope. That's awesome. So to make an ebook, coming back to it, have a footer, and then basically each slide represents a page in your ebook. Once you are done, and just so you know too, here's another cool thing. You can make links, okay? So you can hyperlink something in your slide of Google. So let's say you wanted to direct somebody to a link of where to buy a water bottle. You would highlight it and link it, and then when you export it as a PDF out of Google Slides, it's gonna make that link clickable. So basically you build your slides, you click File, Export as PDF, and now you have your PDF, which is an ebook, okay? So to make it shareable, if you are posting this in your Facebook group, you might upload it to the Files section of your Facebook group, or you would upload it to something like Dropbox, and then it's a shareable link. And there's your ebook, okay? And then like I said, I'll often do a recording, or I might even do, in my Ready, Set, Glow cleanse, which runs twice a year, I will do Facebook Lives right within that group to add value. Sometimes if I wanna just do a polished recording, then I will open up something like Zoom and just record myself talking to slides. If you want to take it one step further and get into editing, this is something I trained myself to do years ago. Hi, Danette. I purchased a program called ScreenFlow, and I taught myself through probably about 10 hours of practice how to make a polished video with music and all that stuff. So again, you can teach yourself anything today. Everything I've learned has been self-taught, to be honest. Everything I do today, I basically learned from Google and YouTube, and that's why I don't outsource a ton of the stuff I do, because I have a very specific way I want things to look and feel. And to be honest, it doesn't take me a lot of time because I'm so skilled in it now after years of practice. So for me to hire something like that out would actually take a lot more of my time. So yeah, so Mom Jade said, I got lost after hyperlink to create ebook. Can I review that, please? So I was just making the point that when you're creating an ebook using Google Slides, for example, you can highlight text within your presentation in Google, and you can hyperlink it. If you're using a Mac, which is all I use, you hit Control-K, and you type in what the link is. And then when you export your presentation as a PDF, all of those links are clickable. So when the person at home is reading their ebook on their iPad and they click something, it opens up. Okay, so I wanted to share this with you guys. And then obviously after I have all the creation stuff done, I'll market it for 3 to 4 weeks. I wanted to share this with you guys because I'm in creation right now. So the need that I saw on my team, we have about 25,000 essential oil users in our Whole Fit Essential Oil group. We have about 4,000 business builders. And what I am seeing as a need for people is to understand how powerful the essential oils and specific supplements that doTERRA has in a kit called the Cleanse and Restore Kit, how powerful they can be in supporting the body to do a little bit of a deeper cleansing than it would on a typical basis. Don't get me wrong, your body is highly intelligent. Your body is cleansing every single day. It knows what to do. But when you've traveled a lot, maybe you've been sick, maybe there are things showing up in your skin or in your digestive system, or maybe you're not pooping after every meal, these key indicators of a healthy engine. When that's not happening, then your body needs a little bit of extra support, okay? So I am not a proponent of cleansing, using cleansing things all the time, but I think it's very helpful to do something seasonally. So this cleanse I'm working on for my team, it solves two issues. Number one, I wanted to offer a downgraded version of my Ready, Set, Glow cleanse. The Ready, Set, Glow would be like a 2.0. It involves juicing and smoothies and a lot of meal prep. And it's more of a holistic life cleanse. It doesn't involve powders and potions and, laxatives and crazy teas or, master cleanse approaches. It's nothing like that. It's very holistic. However, it can be overwhelming for a brand new person. So when I was looking at where I could have a lot of impact this year, and I was feeling this a lot last year, was with our massive wellness community. So this 30-day cleanse using the doTERRA Cleanse and Restore Kit is going to be a much easier, supportive approach to cleansing the body for the average person. And I also know a good majority of my team don't know how incredible doTERRA supplements are, don't know how to talk about them with their community. So I'm teaching them while I'm leading the oil community. So this was a no-brainer for me, right? For those of you that are building a doTERRA business, look up the Cleanse and Restore Kit. You can find all this info, and again, you can put your own perspective and spin on it. And everything I talked about, if you're just joining in right now, go back and watch the beginning of the broadcast. I teach you how do you work through the process of creation, okay? So that's that. Any thoughts on that? Marcy, let me just see, there's some questions in Facebook. So Marcy asked, where do you get the content, pictures and stuff for the Google Slides? So if you're in doTERRA, honestly, hop over to doTERRA's Instagram, Facebook. They have a lot of shareable images on there that you can share with your team. There's even a section on doTERRA.com which has images pre-made for you for sharing. If you're creating your own content and you're looking for pictures of healthy people working out or a glass of lemon water or whatever, there's a lot of websites that you can purchase photos from. So one of the ones I love to use is called Stocksy, STOCKSY.com. Any other questions around this topic that I've opened up with? Rochelle says, that's what took me over. That's what helped me get through my first class, thinking of how I wanted everyone to feel. I love that so much, because that's what you do. That's it. That's all you do, is you create a powerful experience for people to come together. This is why in doTERRA, we never call what we do parties. It's not that kind of thing at all. We don't do parties. We don't, people aren't coming to classes just to purchase oils so that the host can earn a whole bunch of gifts. That's not what we do. We are offering people an opportunity to completely change their approach to healthcare. All right, cool. I think we got to all the questions on this topic. Toby said, I get ideas and then I get overwhelmed and I shut down. Yes, okay, so I've been there many times. And so what gets me excited might be different for you, but what really helps me is to start to see the idea coming to life through branding. So when I start to see it look pretty, I love pretty things. When I start to see some cohesiveness, so if I have an idea and I can get the image that speaks to that idea and the font that speaks to that idea, I'm excited now to get to work. The other thing that moves me out of overwhelm is being prepared. So to be honest, sometimes we want to do something. Maybe you want to rank up in your business, or maybe you want to write a book. Part of the reason we often feel overwhelmed and don't get started is because we just feel unprepared. So sometimes you need to spend more time in the messiness, right? In the research and educating yourself, because then all of a sudden you'll have these ideas move from here to here and you're ready to go. What if your idea is too big that you feel like it's unachievable? How do you overcome that? It's how you do anything, really, it's one little step at a time, one baby step. Part of the reason that people don't achieve their goals in health, in business, in anything, is because they try to take it all on at once. So I would encourage you to look at whatever your goal is and see how micro you can make it. See how far you can break it down. And then once you get to the smallest particle of that goal, take action on that. And then tomorrow, take on another particle. And just keep moving the needle slowly, slowly, slowly. This is why some people think it's really wise to put their goals out there into the world to create accountability. But at times this can backfire because people feel like a failure because they told all these people, and they move into this state of force. So if that's you, maybe you stop telling people what your goal is and you just start working on the little daily things. You know, when we celebrate someone's success, when we celebrate somebody achieving a new rank in doTERRA or losing 20 pounds, often for those people, the goal was not actually to lose the 20 pounds or to hit diamond. The goal was to inspire, if you're building a business in doTERRA, for example, was to inspire another couple people every single day in their own health, to serve people in that way. Yeah, Kari, I was going to say that. I was thinking that in my head. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's right. If somebody has lost 20 pounds, usually the person who's been successful doing that is the person whose goal was to actually just feel more healthy, more today than they were yesterday, to move a little bit more than they did yesterday. They start to ask themselves questions like, I wonder what would happen if I ran an extra 2 minutes today. Or I wonder what would happen if I drank an extra glass of lemon water today. I wonder what would happen. Rather than putting this pressure, well, love you, Kate. Rather than putting this pressure on themselves to hit this goal, they make it about the real thing. And the real point of why we do anything is to be happy and fulfilled and to feel vibrant in our life and to feel like we are in service to other people in a way that's in integrity with our gifts. That's what we all really want. So look at your goals and look at things that you might be wanting to create for other people and ask, like, is this the right time for me to do this? You'll know when it is. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you need to just be in the journey, right? Lose yourself in the process of living and marinating with an idea and learning more. And then that idea will just hit you and you're like, all right, it's go time. Okay, awesome. All right, well, let's open it up to random Q&A. Thanks for jamming with me for the last 30 minutes on this topic. I love it. And here's what I know to be true. Success in whatever you want it to be and whatever you want it to look like, it will be, and it can be for you just like it has been for anyone else. Everything you can think of up here is real. And it's about, really knowing your story, your truth. I've said this before, your past experiences make you the best teacher. So that's why I know for myself, any idea I've ever had, anything I've ever created that's been successful has actually already been done thousands and thousands of times. Think about the health industry, right? The health industry is completely saturated. Health coaches and people all doing the same kind of thing. But what separates, and this is just one example, what separates content that people produce in the health industry to help people get better and well is the person behind it. That person's experience. For me, what makes me a very strong leader is I'm a trifecta leader. I know how to motivate people who have a really big imagination, my kids. I know how to motivate people who have really nothing to gain, because I've spent 12 years prior to owning my own business, working in ops management with a corporation. And I know how to motivate people who have everything to gain in the network marketing industry. So because of that, it puts me in a unique position. Because of my life, it puts me in a unique position as a leader, just like many of you listening right now. What makes me effective as a health coach versus the next person is I have a very keep it real approach when it comes to our health. I don't believe in sacrificing one piece of the health pie for another, which is why you'll never see me promoting drastic approaches within anything. What I want most for people I coach is that they come to a lifestyle that they can live that helps them be their best self. And if we're killing ourselves at the gym every day at 5 a.m. and miserable just for the sake of a certain weight on the scale, that is not a life. That's what I've always brought to this conversation. It's what people know about me. If somebody is attracted to somebody who teaches that, they're going to learn along with that teacher that that's not going to be a sustainable path. So, and I have so much more to learn, you guys. I mean, in many ways in my life, because of what I know my purpose is and what I want to see change in my lifetime and how I want to impact my girls, I'm just getting warmed up. There is so much more I want to learn. And I think it's important for us to all know that we are equal parts students and teachers, right? We're always learning, we're always teaching. And hopefully in the middle there, we're living. We're learning, we're living, we're teaching. That would be the ideal flow. Questions on Facebook? Okay, we're all good there. Okay. Angelica, any advice on how to plan a successful daily routine? Hop over to my Facebook page, my personal Facebook, where I did a broadcast just before the new year on planning your best 2017. In that video, and I give you a prep kit. In that video, I talk about how you take all the stuff up here and in here, and you create a beautiful daily routine. And I've actually shared with you my daily routine, okay? So if you want to go check that out, that will help you. I won't go more into that topic just because I've already jammed that out for you guys. How can you balance family, work, and health? Mobile Nails to Go and Jessica Strong. Post your questions in just a second. So balance doesn't exist. I've talked about this before, but what it really is about having harmony between all the things you love and helping them flow together like the ocean, like the waves in the ocean, like they're all coming and going. This is why I love owning my own business. If done properly, and again, you have to create those boundaries around your time. If done properly as a business owner, you will be able to experience all harmony between, because you're calling the shots when you own your own business, but where it comes back to harm people is when they are on all the time in all of the areas. So what's most important is that you look at your day and the time that you have to do everything, whether it's working your business or being a mom or nurturing relationships in your life. You look at all the things you want your day to include and you block it off and then you honor it. So if you want to feel more connected to your kids as a mom, which is one of my core focuses, I block off time where I am not available. I'm very unavailable to people, to be honest. When I do these broadcasts, for example, once a week for this hour, I'm super available, but I'm not available most of the week because I am very focused on what I'm doing and I have planned out what my day is going to look like. So just because somebody shoots me a text or sends me 10 emails with their agenda doesn't mean that's going to be my agenda. And you can follow my lead here. Most people don't. Most people, this is a process, and this has been a process for me to get to. Most people, as soon as that text comes in, they're reading it and they're responding. Their whole day is spent in reaction, not in response. And in order to come from a place of response, you need to have a plan and you need to honor it. And you need to stop the addiction to being distracted, right? So for example, Facebook, we love it and we hate it at the same time, right? You have to be able to go in and get what you need from Facebook and get out. You have to learn to post your content or see what the top 10 most inspiring people in your life have been up to and then get out. Because that is a toxic drain in there, okay? So you have to learn what serves you and what doesn't. And honestly, only you can put up these parameters and boundaries in your life, and you will once you get to a state of feeling so frustrated with yourself. You'll make some changes. It's the only reason I'm very effective with my time now is because I have had periods of extreme frustration as I have scaled up very fast in my business and in my in the amount of people that are coming at me, right? If you're in growth, which you should be if you're a leader, the amount of people that you're impacting is going to continue to grow every single day. So the key is, how do you do that without losing yourself, right? You have to set boundaries around that. And you all know this, I've talked about this many times, but you are no good to anybody if you're not good. So you need to take care of yourself as a whole person first, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, before you can ever help another person. My smoothie's getting all icky. Hey, Julia. Hi, Mama. Can you talk about delegating tasks and how you structure your month? So and when it comes to delegation, I have tried a lot of different approaches within it. So I mentioned that I'm a presidential diamond in doTERRA. There are other presidential diamonds in doTERRA who have a team of 20 people working for them. They have assistants who manage other assistants, things like that. That to me is a whole level of extra work I don't want to take on. So what my approach is constantly looking at things that are in my schedule and asking, is this something I need to do? Or is it something I can pay someone to do? Or is it something that I never need to do again? And I'm in control of that. And because I don't want this level of chaos where I'm managing a team that would have turnover, right? I don't really want to pour into a team of assistants knowing that I will always be doing that. In everything I do, I'm thinking about the long term. So I approach everything with ease. There are, to be honest, there's nothing right now in my business that feels unsustainable. In a couple of months, there might be some things. This year for me, because I've had a couple of years of just like heavy pouring into my community and creating, and I'm doing this program right now for my team, but it doesn't feel heavy because I don't have a ton of other things on my plate. Last year, I spoke twice in front of 5,000 people, and that took a lot out of me, preparing for that and moving into another level of accessibility with people. So I'm now at a point in my schedule because of that process. I look at everything and I think, is this for me? Can I hire someone to do this? Or do I never need to do this? So maybe you try that same approach. You look at your schedule. I'm all for hiring people if it's not a situation where you're going to turn into a manager of people. So I have a house cleaner that comes once a week, a green cleaner. I have an assistant who is an elite leader in my team. So she knows our business in and out. And it's a beautiful relationship because what she's learning through the things that I'm creating are helping her in her own business as well. And she's in it for the long haul, right? I have my family helping with things. I'm teaching my girls what responsibility is. So they do a lot of things for me in my business to earn some extra money, sample vials, packages. The other big thing is my husband is home 5 days a week from the fire hall. So because of that, he's able to help me with things around the home and with the kids. And if I didn't have him, I'd be hiring that out. So I think you have to look at what things do you love. I mentioned at the start of this broadcast, one of the things I love, and that's very important to me, is that whatever I'm creating in my brand and I'm putting out there has my touch on it, has been me behind it. I never want to lose that with my community. I would never hire somebody to do my social media because of that, because that is so important to me. That it's my voice behind a message, not a concept that I've told someone else that they've then turned into a social media post. That's just not for me. But some people, that's, the path they've chosen to go down because maybe that's not one of their core things, right? So it's different for everybody. But I think my best answer to that is to look at, what's light and what's heavy in your schedule. Whatever's heavy, ask those three things. Can I hire it out? Is this for me to do because I love it and it's in my genius? Or do I not ever need to be doing this again? There's nothing, if you're a business owner, there's nothing you have to do. And I want to come back to that word should. There's nothing you should be doing. Somebody, I mean, I could sit here and tell you, okay, if you, let's say you're in doTERRA. I hit diamond in 8 months in doTERRA. I could tell you that how I did that was teaching 2 to 3 classes a week for 8 months. So, and that's what I did. So you might hear that and think, okay, that's what I should be doing. But if that's not how you want to build, maybe how you would prefer to build is, hi Shay, maybe how you would prefer to build is through one-on-ones at Starbucks, bringing your oils and listening to, you know, really identifying people's health concerns one-on-one. Beautiful. Maybe the way you're going to build your business is traveling the world and building a team in every area of the world you want to spend time in. Like, there are so many paths to do this. So don't shit all over yourself. I love it. I know we could just do a whole broadcast playing off the word should and how shouldy it is. But anyway, there's nothing you should be doing in your business. What you want to be doing in your business is what you're inspired to do, what really lights you up. Some of you shouldn't be building doTERRA. You realize that, right? I'm going to use that word should in this example because some of you think this is about making money. Some of you think, you know, you've hopped from other network marketing companies thinking doTERRA is going to be the same, and it's not. And you'll actually, you won't be here long. You are in the right place building a doTERRA business if you're somebody who your only goal is to help other people feel better in their body, more empowered in their decision-making in their home. If that's your goal, that will guide you. You will always know what to do because these people will continue to come into your path. How do I mentor people that feel stuck, like they aren't progressing? So I think that my answer to that would be, I remember Tony Robbins saying this at Unleash Your Power that I went to last year. He said, here's the thing, there are no lack of resources today. Okay, so when I think about when people join my business team to build this business, I have literally poured my guts into making everything accessible to my team so that nobody could say, where do I find this? Or I don't know how to do this. Like literally everything's been put there for them. It's all been created. It's literally come on in and go, create your dream life. Like literally everything's there. What there is a lack of is resourcefulness. There's a lack of, and ownership, I would add to that. There's a lack of resourcefulness and ownership. So it's one thing to not have access to tools, not know how to do it. I've been there too. I'm a Canadian founder with doTERRA, and trust me, in the first couple of years, and the girls, like Susan's on, I think. Susan was one of my first leaders. It was not easy, okay? Building in a new market that we didn't have tools. We couldn't even talk about how to buy the oils because we weren't open as a business here. Like there were so many limitations on us, and yet we still emerged and we actually exploded because we chose to take ownership of it and say, okay, well, what can I do, right? So we made up, we pioneered, we created, we paved the path. So when today, and I'm going to speak to doTERRA, doTERRA is entering the next massive phase of growth, right? They are now the largest essential oil company, they are the largest essential oil company in the world, but they're now the largest network marketing company in North America. So, and that's, no company's ever hit the metrics doTERRA has. So here's the thing. People who come into this business with excuses or they feel limited, it's two things. It's either they're not being resourceful or they are limiting themselves. There's not a lot you can do for someone who doesn't believe in themselves enough. All you can do is believe in them and cheerlead them and connect them to the resources. But for some people, they need to marinate in personal development a little longer. And you are not here to do that. I want to free some of you of this thought that you are here to be a therapist for people that you've enrolled. That is not what you're here to do. You let that go. doTERRA will be the most beautiful personal development journey for all people doing this business, but it is not up to you as someone's mentor to be their therapist. Your role as a mentor is to be an inspiring leader to model what you are talking about with your team. The leaders that I see start to go backwards in their growth are the ones who sit back and are now expecting their team to do all the things they're not doing. Those are the ones who are not in growth and their business is falling apart. The ones who are modeling and teaching through their modeling, it's just like being a parent, right? The most effective way to parent your kids is to model what you're talking about. So those are the leaders that are successful. Those are the mentors. And this is what you have to decide as a mentor. Who are you going to give your time to? Who is moving with their feet, not their mouth? Who energetically is ready for your guidance? There are so many people that are looking for the kind of opportunity doTERRA provides, the kind of change it will provide in their life. But not all of those people are ready to own their development. That is not your responsibility. Okay, so this is a process. If you're brand new to this business, you're going to feel like you're not a good leader. If the person you're trying to mentor is not growing, right? The reality is the way doTERRA has grown and the amount of resources people have available to them today, no one can have that excuse. All you're here to do is connect people to the resources they need and model. Don't be the leader that is talking about how to enroll and how to teach classes that isn't doing that. I see that sometimes on my team, right? I have a shared brand with my sister, having a hard time figuring out how to brand myself also. Hey, Susan, are you on? What is the book you were talking about the other day? You posted in your group. I think you're reading it right now. Can you post the name of that book? I think it's about branding or figuring out your genius. If anyone has any other resources to recommend on this topic, I mean, personally, how do you respond to people who don't take your business seriously? Okay, let me come back to that thought in a second. Personally, I hold the belief that, oh, sorry, one sec. Susan mentioned the book, Get Noticed by Lindsay Marino. Okay, cool. Get Noticed is the book. Awesome. Take a quick screenshot, you guys, if you want to find that. The Big Leap is a good one too, yes. Desire Map. Personally, I'm going to come back to the belief that we always know. So what you want to pay attention to is what are you attracted to in branding? Because that's probably, you know, and again, there's not like this specific way to brand that's good for everybody. You're not here to help everybody. So I would think about the person that you're both looking to reach and how does your branding actually attract that person, the look and feel. How do you make your brand duplicable for your team? Does the team just use your brand? On the whole, yes. Most of my team just takes what I created under my Whole Fit brand and they will brand that out. However, what I most want duplicating on my team is that they're all clear on who they're here to impact. And if they decide to start branding their message, I see this happen at usually the silver or gold level. Up until then, no, you should not be in creation and creating websites and all this stuff. Don't spend your time doing that. Spend your time creating your team foundation. Use what your upline has. Usually if you're a silver or gold looking to go diamond or above, that's when you'll start to, you know, get into the branding space a little bit more. Sorry, what was that question? I think it was around, and I'll take it as the last question. Was it Jessica who asked? What to do when people don't take you seriously or something like that? Sorry, can you post it for the third time? Should have written this down. There's that should word. See, pops up all the time. Okay, Jess said, so people who don't take your business seriously, do you take your business seriously? Are you in business hoping that others will take you seriously? Or do you just do your business because you take it seriously and you don't care? So if you take it seriously, eventually other people will take it seriously. Jess, who are you referring to? Who in your life is making you feel like your business is not worth considering? Your brother. Okay. So family can be tough. Family is often a really good measuring stick for our belief. So we can all of us can think of somebody in our life who maybe doesn't believe in what we're doing. All of us have those people. As you become clearer and stronger in what you're doing, and when you know that what you're doing is needed in our world, that will start to disappear. Trust me, you just won't care. The most boring people in the world to me are the ones who promote fear. They're so boring to me. I look at them and I'm just like, boring. People who promote fear in our world, whether you're talking about fear around using essential oils, fear around healthy eating, fear around network marketing, fear around, believing in yourself and having boring. Because you know what? That's 99% of the world. So great, good for you. You've joined the largest club in the world called The Box, right? What needs to shift for people who are truly interested in being free is you have to realize that your security and value does not come outside of yourself. It comes from you, and it comes from the highest power. Whether you believe in a creator or something larger than yourself, that's where your belief comes from. And you cultivate that every day. You remind yourself of that, and you surround yourself with people who share that same belief. That's it. Like, honestly, you guys, in my own journey through this topic, the person I am today, put me in a room with somebody who lives in the fear box, and I will have them feeling so uncomfortable within a couple of minutes because I am so clear and grounded in my truth. They either won't speak or they will have a pretty quick opinion change, or they'll leave the room. I've removed people from my community groups in the past because their whole story and obsession is fear. And what we can do with those people who don't entirely believe in the work that we do, you give them a chance, you show them compassion, you communicate where you're coming from and why, and you love on them. But there does come a point where the whole boundary conversation has to come up, right? Where you have to start, creating, and it's not about living in a bubble, not at all, but it's about protecting what you are creating, protecting your energy, because you are here to do really big, amazing things for people. Kirby shared on Facebook, something that really helps me with beliefs and fear is recognizing it, acknowledging it, and where it's come from. For example, is it someone else's belief? And then saying, that's not mine, and let it go. I do this daily, but it helps so much. Bang on, sister. Is this mine or is this someone else's? Something I did I Goal You training years ago when I was an ambassador for Lululemon. And one of the things I learned in there from Suzanne Conrad, who's the creator of I Goal You, is I am, you are. I am, you are. So it's practicing seeing and knowing who you are and what you stand for, and recognizing who that person in front of you is and what they stand for. Compassion and love, not fear, not judgment, but understanding they're not where you are. And many times the people that don't support you today, you are teaching them so much right now. They won't tell you that right now because they're not strong enough to acknowledge that. They're at the beginning of their journey. Okay, so it's very freeing when you understand that. What you are, who they are, what's the truth here, right? All right, guys, I gotta go. Gotta finish this smoothie, hopping on at 2 o'clock with my team. So love you all. Thanks for joining live, and I'll be back next week. So we'll do some more questions. Would I be able to cover Canadian tax write-offs in Q&A? I don't know if I want to touch that topic, to be honest. It's such an individual topic. Do you have an accountant? You need to get an accountant, because there's so many specifics to that. Keep all your receipts, write off all your LRPs. That's the best part. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week. There we go.